Black Adam, then maybe that would have been helpful. But that was my own.
Hi.
What's the hot show?
Oh, Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Yes.
Black Adam.
Have a good night.
It's the hot show.
It's the hot show.
I mean, what's up?
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
I don't know about that. Superman's still out there.
Dad? Dad?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's go. I was just daydreaming a little bit.
Yeah.
Scott, it happened. Sorry.
Hey everybody, Madliv here. Today we're going to be watching Black Adam in the movie theaters, and we're just going to give a review on it. I currently look like I just visited Aquaman. I was rushing out of the shower, and we always run late to the theaters, so I was trying to hurry up. But yes, that's why my hair is wet. But overall, I'm very excited. I'm very intrigued to see how this movie goes. To see The Rock play Black Adam. That is very, very exciting. I'm intrigued because it's very unknown for me. Kind of like Shazam, we were kind of the same way with the DC story. We weren't very aware as to, you know, like what his story was. So to find that out will be very, very awesome. So yes, what is everybody else thinking of this movie?
Well, like my sister said, I'm very excited to see The Rock play Black Adam, whatever the character Black Adam may entail. Or we know that he is very powerful, given the shots from the various trailers, because they've been showing a lot of those all year. But no, I'm very excited also because the plot is very, I don't know. I feel like sometimes with movies you know what the plot is going to be, but with this one I have no idea. So that sense of like not knowing where the movie might be going, and that's exciting. So having no idea what it's going to be about, and or at least having a little bit of an idea it's exciting. And the music as well, and the visuals.
I am actually very excited to see this movie today, and a bit frustrated. First, I became more excited when I think it was the third trailer, where it was really revealed that The Rock's character, I don't know Black Adam's actual name unless that's what they call him, Black Adam. But when I felt like it was a kind of a father in distress, out for vengeance kind of story, that was very interesting. I am a bit of a fan of Dwayne Johnson's acting ability. I think he has a lot more chops than people give him credit for. A lot of people say he just plays The Rock all the time, and maybe that's the bankable stuff that he works on. But I say this as often as I can. I saw him in a movie called Snitch and changed my whole outlook on him. I mean, I like many people, grew up seeing the Rock as a wrestler. Then he did the Scorpion movies after the Mummy movies. But it was that movie Snitch that kind of switched it up for me. And then when I heard a little bit more about what the character story might be in this, seemed a little bit more intriguing. There's a lot of DC lore about Black Adam that I have no idea about. I mean, zero idea. But this whole claim that this story is gonna shift the hierarchy of the DC universe, that it's very intriguing. It's a bold thing to say, but I mean, Dwayne Johnson is known for saying very bold things. I read an article that said that he's gonna draw audiences to the DC universe that probably may not even have all that much interest in comic book based films, because he is The Rock and he's got a global audience. That if he makes shoes, people are gonna buy them. If he makes a drink, energy drink, people will buy it. So we did. So I think he's bringing a different scope to the DC universe that could be a pretty big, significant transitional point for them as they reconfigure and recalibrate. And man, they've made a lot of headlines because they're making so many changes. And I truly do hope it's for the better. The real frustrating part for me is that I read an article, or rather I saw a headline a bit ago, about 2 or 3 days ago, and mind you, we're seeing this movie a couple days after it's come out, and there was something about a cameo, and I was like, I don't want to know, because I was kind of hoping for something, and maybe I was like, oh, well, the kid in me doesn't want it spoiled. Yeah, so much for that. Thanks, all of you internetverse. And now I know exactly what I'm walking into, but I think the little kid in me, it's gonna be fine, and I'll enjoy it regardless. But I was trying so hard to not spoil this movie and what it can entail in terms of the things that I am familiar with the DC universe. But whatever, well, here we are.
Okay, but the truth is, how did you feel when you did see that cameo? Even though you weren't surprised in the theater, I know you were probably very happy.
I am thrilled.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that after the movie, but you are right.
Yes.
I might have squealed like a little boy.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least it was
Yeah.
that and something
Because
completely different.
It's something we've been hoping for,
Yes.
and it happens.
And it's
So-
in a movie about like one of the most badass celebrities we know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So I mean, there's all kinds of reasons to be like, nah, let's go.
Okay, so those are our thoughts before the movie, and then we're going to be watching the movie, and then afterwards we will be saying what we thought of it. So stay tuned for that.
All right, let's talk about this thing. Man, talk about an action-packed film.
Yeah.
Well, to start, this movie has been a long time in the making. People have been waiting for it for a very long time. From the get-go, technically, this movie is incredible. Visually,
Yeah.
effects.
It's very good.
I mean, I don't think DC's ever really failed us with that sense. In terms of like the Snyder Cut movies, the Snyder movies, the Man of Steel, there was a lot of similar effects and action going on, especially when you have a hero, or rather meta-human like Black Adam, that has the kind of powers that he does. You kind of have to get creative with certain shots because he's so fast, because he's so strong. And they were able to, speed, kind of keep things fresh, keep things creative, even though we've seen some of those similar movies and powers. So, visually it was incredible. The action, some of the best we've seen, I think. Any thoughts you guys have?
Yeah, no, it was a lot to get used to, but it was all executed really well. Just the actions of it, the cinematography, like the visual effects of it was very, very impressive. I mean, everything. I mean, it really showed The Rock. It really showed The Rock in his full glory, with his strength and everything. And
So the music in this movie, what did you think about the music? Because I know you're more musically inclined.
yeah.
You
Well,
pay attention to the music.
I thought the music was great. I know Lorne Balfe, a fantastic composer who did the music for Skylanders, a childhood game of ours.
Assassin's Creed.
A
lot of things.
Is it that? Yeah, Lorne Balfe is, yeah. It was fantastic. I do think that they chose to put some songs in certain areas, I don't know, needed music. It kind of broke like the wall of immersion. And there wasn't a commitment to sound like to the orchestra, and leaned on popular music and songs that go well with the moment. That
Yeah.
I felt that kind of took me out of it whenever they would play songs that would just look really badass with the slow-mo montage. So I do think that maybe if they could have used maybe some orchestral music that was iconic to Black Adam, then maybe that would have been helpful. But that was my own.
Hi.
The hot show.
Oh, Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Yes.
Black Adam.
Have a good night.
It's the hot show, man.
It's the hot show.
I mean, I think it was a fun movie to watch. I mean, when you
Yeah,
talk
it
about
was
movies that
really
you come
fun.
to see and that will make people come out to watch movies, this
It is.
definitely was quite terrific in terms of a superhero movie.
I haven't really felt that in quite a bit. I mean, I know we had Multiverse of Madness and
For the last one, Mr.
Well,
No,
Thor:
Thor:
Love
Love
and
and Thunder, but
Right, but
you
you
know.
didn't get as much action, like this kind of action.
yeah,
in
but
this.
this
kind of
kind of
action,
action, like it felt like an epic. That's like the best way to put it.
Yes, absolutely.
It felt more like an epic for me. Like the first time in quite a bit, where it's more that, because I know there's like other that it very much indulges itself in like the action of it, but there's some good heart moments as well, which I also enjoyed.
So in terms of the spectacle, the visuals, the music, there was a lot of great things about this movie. And even story-wise and acting. So we're going to slowly start going into spoiler territory. We'll have a spoiler warning, but just so you know, we're going to start getting into a little
Yep.
bit more detail. So spoilers are incoming. So we're going to transition to the parents so that they can kind of give their opinions. And then maybe we'll give a little bit of our comments at the end. So
Yes.
Okay,
Black
so
Adam.
Black Adam, I definitely felt the DC vibes. There's a style with DC, it's a lot darker. I felt like it, obviously Black Adam is a darker character. He's very strong, and obviously all the special effects were very, very appealing, very impressive. That's the word I'm looking for. So, I mean, in that I wasn't not expecting that. I was, you know, I was kind of going into it expecting that, and I did enjoy it. I can't say I was really expecting to have full out characters laid out, and you know, that kind of story that I do enjoy, getting to really, like, we say milk the characters, but like to really iron out all those details and the character introductions and things like that. I think Black Adam had quite the introduction. He was probably the only one that really had the epic introduction, but it is his movie, so I get it. I don't know, I think I was just, I liked it. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was entertaining. It was a great, like, new, I don't know, breath of fresh air for DC for me. Yeah, I'd like to see another DC that I actually did enjoy. DC was kind of on my, you know, I'm not so happy list, but now I feel like I'm starting to get back into DC and really enjoy what I see. So I did like this movie.
I liked it too. I really did. There's a lot to like. I mean, it in terms of a fun movie, amazing epic action. I got a lot of what I couldn't help but expect. It's a movie produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who he knows how to put on a good show. Yes. And we'll get into story, which I don't entirely have a problem with. I think the visuals were absolutely stunning. The effects. It all was justified. I do agree 100% with what Joshua was saying about music. The music was effective at some points. At points, I felt like a tug of war. I'm really trying to focus on what's happening within the story of itself, and the music just felt like I wanted to just turn it off. I really want to just watch what's happening right now because it's so captivating. So the music got a little bit out of control, but you know, it's fine. Yeah. I get it. The action kind of can justify that for some viewers. There were times where I was wondering if I was listening to The Rock's workout playlist because it didn't match again, Josh said it best. Those could have been great orchestral moments for punching on the character that is Teth Adam.
I think it was an attempt to maybe find like Black Adam's style.
Yeah, I mean, really, it honestly felt like just too many people had an opinion about what music should be put there. That's honestly what I think. And sometimes when you compromise in a creative form, it's not perfect. And there's very, very few flaws in this film. I really do think it is one of the better DC films that have been put out. It's now, in terms of theatrical release, it's up there now with the first Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, yes, definitely Shazam, and now this, very much on its own, because anything else that we've seen was rather vindicated after the fact. The Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League, that was vindicated after its time. So a lot to say about the story. Visually, absolutely stunning. The directing was good. There were some things directing-wise that I was like, maybe it was just an editing thing, but those are little things. Overall, I did enjoy, and I do want to talk about Aldous Hodge when we talk about story and spoilers and such.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I do give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed it. Well,
So now we're gonna get into some spoiler territory. So if you
Somewhat?
spoiler territory.
Nice. Just so the audience.
did you hear?
Yeah.
It was spoiler, is what he said.
Gotcha.
That
Are
was
we
3
in the
times.
spoiler?
4 times.
That's 4 times. So you've had a chance now to walk
hear us
away.
say
Go away
spoiler
if you don't want to listen.
4 times.
Hold on,
Five.
big
Five,
truck.
five now.
Loud, and one more time. Spoiler as the truck leaves.
6.
Okay, so what are we gonna start with?
Well, shall I begin and you jump off? What do you think?
I mean, it depends on what we're gonna start with. Should we start with like just kind of the plot and then go into like the really exciting stuff?
Oh no, we're gonna talk about the spoiler that really punched me in the gut.
Okay, then
this
go ahead.
week. So, Superman
Yes,
returns. Superman returns. No one's around. No trucks. I knew that before I knew that, and it really was driving me crazy that somebody would let this out. But you know, I've heard speculation that it was done on purpose and this and that. But I will have to say that's probably my favorite part of the movie, because it's Superman and it's Henry Cavill, and he's been our Superman, or rather this generation's Superman. So I was great to see him plugged in there in the mid credits section. That was absolutely fantastic. It didn't lose any power, even though I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It was magnificent. It goes from silhouette to manifestation in color and voice, and like it's just.
Now,
really,
what do you think
really
the character
fantastic.
of Superman will do for Black Adam, and why is that interesting to you?
It's interesting to me because I have a feeling that in terms of, and I have not read any articles on this yet, but I'm curious as to when they filmed this. I have a feeling it was well after they were into
Yeah.
post-production, and a lot of decisions were made in DC.
Well, after the writing, that's
So
for sure.
yeah, now we're gonna have to find out is why wasn't he there to begin with? Why can the people of what's the name of the city? Kadak?
Kodaks.
Why could they make the claim that no hero had ever gone to help them and stand up for them? That's a big thing to say about Superman. I mean, although Superman was going through a lot, like he was dead. Let's start with that.
Well, his
So
suit's
there's a lot there.
changed. His suit has changed.
Right.
He's got curly hair a little bit more prominently now.
The theme.
The theme. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, that's a technical aspect, but I do feel like his suit is different, and there's like a lot of other things. So if they were to have committed to what Zack Snyder did in his movies, yes, Superman would have been going through a lot.
Yeah.
But
New chapter.
new chapter, new look, new suit. They used John Williams' theme, very different than Hans Zimmer's theme. So it's
indicative of some change,
it's the
right?
same actor, different Superman. And so I do think that I did agree with you in terms of how, like, why wasn't Superman there to help the city, and they could make that claim. I do.
Well, that was originally your thought. We did a little bit of post conversation,
Right.
and you brought that up, and I think it's a brilliant question. It's a very good question to ask in terms of going forward. DC needs to consider that a lot of people will be asking that question.
So now themes. What themes stood out to you?
I was, and I said this in the pre video, the beginning of this viewing today, that I was hoping to see that dichotomy of a father son and this rather vengeful father. I knew that was coming because of one of the trailers, but then in most of Act 1 there was no sign of that. So I thought I got gypped for a minute, and I'm like, wait, the storyline of Black Adam is very different than what I had expected. At first I was like, do I feel good about that? But I was lied to. But then I wasn't.
Yeah,
It was-
it's kind of like asking for pickles on your burger and there's no pickles. You know?
except you find out it's embedded in the burger.
Well,
Right.
That's the problem, is that it was on the menu. It was on the menu. You show up, the plate gets delivered, it's not there, and then at the end they go, oh, surprise, the pickles actually do come with the burger.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit like, it's a little late. I mean, yeah, the burger was already gone, you know. But I mean, it hit.
It did hit.
Pickles, you know,
We're
were
just
good
giving a
still.
metaphor as to what
That's
it's
it, you know.
kind of understand.
I feel like if you
Chicken
give
next to
that,
burgers.
if you give it to us in the menu, give it to us throughout the whole duration of the movie. Unless you want to have it as a secret, then don't tell us it's on the menu and surprise us, you know. So
I think my family's hungry.
that might have been. No, I mean we had burgers.
I
in there.
also
I'm
we
pretty
did.
full.
Maybe that's what it is. It's still that we're still
Yeah,
digesting
that's
it.
where
but-
that's where that.
But I think
metaphor
what
came
we're also saying is I think it was such a great. I think it attracted us in terms of story for Black Adam and for his character development, for his motivation. So to see that actually came through and that they stuck with that, I think
Worked really well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he loved it. I think it's very important to him, to what matters to him, and why he is the way he is, and why he did the things that he did. It's a huge foundational part of Black Adam. So I'm glad they kept it, and I'm glad. I don't know how accurate that is to the comics. We'd love to hear your comments in the description, in the comment section, as to if that's the same in the comics. What kind of changed in this movie? But the son-father thing was very interesting. What stood
Right.
out to you about that?
Well, I think he didn't come to his full protector state by himself. A lot of things had to happen. It was very much an ensemble with Dr. Fate leading the way. Hawkman, Aldous Hodge, you freaking slayed it, man. You were amazing, absolutely amazing in the role, and to see you square off with Black Adam was powerful. A powerful collision of characters.
That was great.
It was so fantastic. Hawkman popping in and just putting up a fight, but also helping mold Black Adam into what he needed to become. That was a very powerful portrayal and characterization. But it was speedy. It happened so quickly because there was so much going on that the risk of it being missed is there. But because the performances were so well, I didn't lose track of what was going on in terms of how the characters were affecting each other. And I did very much love how Teth Adam goes into becoming the real Black Adam Not by himself again, but because of the way he's affected by the other people. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the other characters?
Thing, Dr. Fate, I thought was terrific. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. One, I kind of saw, not that I was expecting it to happen in this movie, but because he was an older Dr. Fate, that there was going to be a sense of him passing it down. But the reason I loved it is because, you know, I loved how he brought this certain, like, veteran spirit to Dr. Fate, where you know he's been through a lot. There's a lot of history through the character, through the helmet. So there's an excitement to who's going to wear the helmet next, who's going to take it on. I loved the performance, and I thought his wisdom kind of was a great, like, central focal point, I think, for all the characters to revolve around, because he was the one that I think remained constant throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And he's the one that really was able to see beyond the rage, beyond what Hawkman saw as just blind, malicious murder, which I think was very powerful. I think Dr. Fate, one, is extremely badass. Like, he's so powerful, and he can do so much. And visually, all the effects it did with him reminded me a lot of, obviously, like, Doctor Strange, but there was more of a sense of light to him. A sense of light and
Strange was a little bit more
like necromancy. Yeah.
Well, and also, I really liked, what was his name, Al? Like, Al's character, the big guy?
Oh, Adam.
Adam
Smasher.
Smasher.
Adam Smasher.
Yeah, him and Cyclone. I mean, I think,
Yeah,
again,
they did great.
they're not characters that we know on this big. I mean, comic book fans probably know who they are, but for the regular Joe who just watches the casual DC movie, they wouldn't know. And for us, we didn't know. And I thought they were really just great, new, fresh characters. Again,
And
characters
kind of
I'd like
gnarly
to know
stories.
more.
Cyclone was
Yeah,
kidnapped at
that-
15,
That's
Yeah.
injected
kinda
by a
nuts.
mad scientist with nanotechnology.
Even Adam Smasher doesn't seem to know really
He's
how
a bit
to
of a mess.
Yeah.
He shows up to a very interesting collision of characters
Yeah.
Holding
with
chicken.
chicken wings.
Yeah. So
It's
overall,
really
I think
bizarre.
I think the characters were really fantastic.
They had limited time, like screen time, but their stories and who they are really did come through.
Yes.
Yeah,
which was
and
really great.
I think seeing the Justice Society of America, we learned recently that they were the first, like, superhero team in comic book history, from what I understand. You guys can correct us if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Up there with, like, Fantastic Four, one of the first ones. So it was just really great to see them in the flesh, see them there together. I think the only thing that we would have loved is maybe a little bit longer to really see it all fleshed out.
Yeah.
Because
Which
this
is
movie was
amazing,
trying
though.
to do, there was a
Yeah,
lot
they were
going
doing
on.
a lot.
There's even a point where I thought it was ending, and I was like, oh wait, we're not ending, we're still going. And again, not that it was bad, it was just,
I mean, I got like when they showed the villain and his body still present, I was like, oh, they're gonna bring him back. This is not. I
It's
mean,
not
he was
over.
literally trying to, bring hell on Earth. So yeah,
He was clutching onto that crown like
Yeah.
it was a life source. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
it was.
I saw it. Yeah, I definitely saw that coming. But
Yeah.
it was a lot more. It's a lot more than I was expecting. I thought like he was becoming something. No, he fully transformed.
I was so
Like,
caught up in the visual effects of it all, too. I think I didn't realize how long the movie was. Like, it felt longer than it actually was.
and some more
but-
lore to Shazam too.
Yeah, that was really
was
cool.
really
That connection was really awesome. I didn't see that coming.
the connection to Shazam was pretty awesome. It was fantastic. I added a little bit of lore and history there.
Yeah, like something that connected.
Yes, something that connected and made sense, and those wizards we're familiar with. So to see Black Adam, and I know that their stories are probably going to see Black Adam and Shazam collide at some point.
Yeah.
Superman might jump in there now.
Which is-
I think that's an animated movie based off a comic. You guys can let us know. But all in all, we enjoyed it. It was a blast. It was
Yeah.
obviously little things that we have, like, our own personal opinions, but overall, I think it's definitely been worth the wait. I mean, it's been many years in the making. I think, the entire cast and crew, everyone behind this movie, I think should be extremely proud.
Yeah.
Especially, doing production during COVID, even like a little bit of post-COVID, like it takes a lot of work, and clearly there was a lot of work put into this movie. So it's great. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. We'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments, and yeah, give us your opinions and your theories as to what's coming. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next Magilive review.
So go out there, spread your light, and we will see you on the next video.
Have a Magilive day.
But
Bye.